we'll keep going. Okay, so ammonium nitrate. Ammonium is one of those fancy ones that's on our chemistry reference sheet. It's that second one down. It's NH4, and it has +1 as its oxidation number. That means it's trying to lose one electron. So NH4 has an extra electron. So I'm going to put NH4 and put a +1 as that oxidation number. Okay. Okay. And then the second word, again, is not one that's going to be on the periodic table because it ends in ATE, right? The ones that are on the periodic table that are ions, they end in IDE, and then they cut off the IDE, and that's your element, right? So nitrate is one of those special ones again. It's right here. Nitrate is NO3, and that has a -1 as its oxidation number. So I'm going to write NO3 in. NO3, and that has a -1 as its oxidation number. And when you crisscross these ones, those will just end up being silent ones down here. So you'll just end up with NH4 NO3 because the ones can go silent. And if you want to write it without parentheses when you're done, you can. A lot of people do like drop the parentheses if they're not needed anymore. I keep them in there to remind myself that those are 2 polyatomic ions. Otherwise, I sort of forget. But if you see them write it all in one big thing, that means that they just dropped the parentheses. Okay? Okay. Number 20, sodium phosphate. Sodium, that's just a typical element that's on our periodic table. That's Na. What column is Na in on the periodic table? It's in column 1. Good. So I'm going to put a +1 as my oxidation number, the number of valence electrons. In this case, it's trying to lose. Now, phosphate, that's not phosphide. Phosphide would refer to phosphorus on the periodic table, but since it's phosphate, that's one of those special ones that are on our chemistry reference sheet. That's one of those polyatomic ions. So phosphate is PO4, and it has -3 as its oxidation number. So I'm going to write in PO4, and I'm going to put -3 as its oxidation number. And notice, since that is a polyatomic ion, I went ahead and put it in parentheses to make sure that I group it together so that I don't mess up my work. So then I'm going to crisscross those numbers, okay? And I'll end up with Na3. And this one will come down here, PO4, and that one comes down here. If you want to drop the one and make it silent and drop the parentheses and make it silent, you could just write it as Na3 of PO4. Or if you want to leave it like this, it just ends up being Na3 PO4. Like I said, I like to leave the parentheses to remind myself, hey, that's grouped together. That's a polyatomic ion.